Brentford's high Mbeumo valuation. Obviously, they've signed Cunha. We get onto him in a bit, but you know, Mbeumo, they need to add a few more in the forward positions, don't they, and a bit of quality. But this one looks far from done at the moment.
Yeah, Mark Douglas there, I think, going as far as to sort of say that basically that the deal has stalled, which would be quite a worry for Man United fans. I have to say on this one, United frustrated by Brentford's high valuation. Well, he was a fantastic player for Brentford last season, absolutely brilliant, and basically goals, assists, his output. The notion that somehow Brentford will roll over and give him a cheap price. Well, if they don't like the price, you know what they can do? They can walk away from it. That's what they can do. They don't have to pay it because Brentford don't absolutely have to sell. Brentford, extremely well-run club. They're in no absolute emergency state that they have to sell. I think they're expecting to sell him, but and probably expecting someone to come in with a fair price. And I think actually, because in there they're sort of saying 55 million. Is perhaps what United are thinking, 55 million plus add-ons. Well, I have to say, if they get Bryan Mbeumo for that, I think they're getting themselves a bargain. So no wonder Brentford are driving a hard bargain. I actually think that, sorry, United, but if you don't think you can pay that, I mean, I guess United's issue is that they've signed Cunha, they're after Mbeumo, and they still need a centre-forward. So bearing in mind they've got kind of PSR juggling to do and they need a lot of outgoings to manage as well. I think they will have to manage their finances very carefully, and that's more the point, isn't it? It's not about Brentford driving a hard bargain. It's about United needing to do their sums, and that's why the sticking point is. So decent story, and if indeed the deal is stalled, then that's a worry for United. But I have to say, there's no reason why Brentford would lower their price just to hand him to United. Absolutely no chance. Yeah,
and Charlie, I guess there's always that Man United tax, isn't there? They've got a history, recent history suggests they tend to pay over the odds for these players. They are, if not desperate, then they really do need some changes in those forward positions. Brentford know that, but it's a fair point about the outgoings. What comes first? Do they get Mbeumo and then offload? And then they're going to face the same problem the other way round.
Of course, Manchester United don't want these players to come back and then the stories start to come out. They're training with the 21s, they're training with the youth team, they've got a separate training regime to the first team. Then there's the noise about, are they going on the pre-season tour? They're not with the main group, and it just becomes negativity that Manchester United don't need. So actually, it feels like quite a sensible move to say, here's the time you need, get the deals done, but whether or not, and this is the big question, can these deals get done within the next 4 or 5 days? Because these are all potentially quite big deals to make happen, whether it's because of wages, because of transfer fees, or because of the fees that Manchester United will attach to the players. You could go through individually, but it feels like it's going to be an interesting week or so for these players at Manchester United.
Yeah, clearly there will be a focus at Manchester United on trying to get fees and permanent moves for these 5 players behind us.